Okay, so it's just hit 11. I will just allow another minute to go by and then I will start. Just introduce myself, Graham Fern. Some of you might have been on some of the previous webinars. So you've already heard me say that many times. We're going to talk about Microsoft Dynamics 365, or let's call it a CRM product, probably the buzzword that people are more familiar with. The session's been recorded. Keep your microphone muted if you please, unless you want to ask a question, or then please come off mute. Otherwise, we do have an instant chat facility. If you move your mouse around in the window that I'm sharing, a little bar should appear, and in there there's a conversations icon, looks like a speech bubble, and you can pose questions via a kind of instant message facility, which I will obviously take towards the end. Okay, so I'm not going to spend any more time going through all the introduction thing because time is of the nature here. I'm instantly going to share my desktop screen so that you can hopefully see my web browser and my machine and Office 365. And this is how I've started every webinar, because we're talking about Microsoft Cloud, Microsoft Office 365, and using the benefits of cloud computing, and particularly at this moment in time where we're all largely stuck working from home and trying to run our businesses as a dispersed setup. Okay, well, the only thing I really want to point out in here for everyone is there's an icon here, which I'm madly moving my mouse around, called Dynamics 365. Okay, so built into the product by license. Okay, so let's be blunt here. You have to have crossed Microsoft Palm with Silver. So you've got the right license. It just appears in the Office 365 start menu. And it is just another button, no different than going to Outlook, OneDrive, Word, Excel, etc. We now have Dynamics 365. Okay, some of you might already have this product. Some of you might have never heard of it. So I'm going to be pretty fast and furious on this, but let's just quickly get this out of the way. What is it? Well, for some companies, particularly in the SMB market space, CRM can be that replacement where I see some businesses, and I'm technical in nature, I see, well, actually a fair few businesses trying to run their business from an Excel sheet or Outlook. Okay, so this is a centralized, best way to put it is just a posh address book, but it does a lot, and it can, if required for bigger companies, do a lot more. But for most of us, we just want something to keep a track of our sales pipeline, keep a track of our accounts, our customers, our communication, and to be able to collaborate with our team who might be in one office, they might be working from home, they could be across the UK, whatever it is. So clicking on the actual product brings me to something that looks like this. This is the latest iteration. So anyone who's currently using Dynamics 365 will perhaps see a slightly different view today, but very shortly for all users, this will be the new look and view. And for those that have got it, you will appreciate the navigation was all at the top before. Now it's all down the side, very much like Outlook style. And I think that's the logic that they've gone with, to be perfectly honest. Okay, so I'm going to have to be fairly quick here. As I said, this can be used as nothing more complicated than a very posh address book. So let me explain what it's made up of. It is made up of accounts. And within accounts, if I click on, I have a few accounts. They're my accounts because I might be an account manager, I might be a salesperson, whatever it be, but I can look at all accounts, all active accounts. There's lots of views to everything in here, so all accounts would probably show more. This is a complete fictitious demo tenant. Okay, so I can choose what interests me. I perhaps don't want to see all of them because perhaps I'm only looking after 3. So I have a list of accounts, and that is my point about it being a very posh address book. Obviously, within every account, there is a list of contacts. And we can actually see there's primary contacts. That might be the person that I'm engaging with. There will be, though, a list of people within the business. These would be listed here. Also on the left-hand side, I can just go down to a list of contacts. So people that work at a business are then actually assigned to an account. So typically that's how we work. So we have accounts, we have contacts within accounts, but in reality for your business, anyone you do business with, don't care if you sell, whether it's the person perhaps coming to clean the office, the people that perhaps come and empty the bins, everyone, whether you sell to them or they sell to you, they're an account. You can differentiate who they are in the system. So we just have lots of accounts. Let me just quickly point out what we see here. Obviously, all the stuff you'd want to see, who they are, where they are, etc. Pretty obvious. Bit in the middle, though, is quite interesting because this is now picking up stuff that's happening. So remember, everyone sees this. So everyone that can access this sees it. So I've got tasks in here. It's telling me that I have a task due today, okay, to actually do something, which is to contact Litware to check everything is okay. So that's called the relationship assistant, and it's using like an AI to kind of keep me on top of things so I don't have to remember, if you want to be blunt. Phone calls, so forth. Okay, so pretty straightforward, nice and easy to look at. I can look at any further details if I am using some of the perhaps more powerful side of things. You know, let's be honest, that's perhaps not for everyone on day one. Well, every company, every account will probably have some information relating to them. Okay, and this is my document storage against my account. Guess what? This uses SharePoint, and those that were with the call yesterday will have heard me talking about SharePoint. So it's storing all the information. It shows it on the right hand side in SharePoint. Okay. Across the top, there's lots of buttons. There just simply isn't the time today. I was going to go over the core features. Okay. So we have our accounts. Our accounts contain contacts. Okay. And we can see who they work for. So there's Susanna. And if I click on Susanna, I get Susanna's details. She works for Litware. If I click on Litware, I go back to where I just was, and you can see that Susanna is linked on the right hand side. So it all kind of flows back on itself whichever way I go. So I have my customers, my accounts and contacts. Great. So I've got a really good address book now. If you want to get fancy here, because Microsoft spent an awful lot of money buying LinkedIn, a few billions and billions of dollars, there is an add-in that then ties LinkedIn into all of the contacts and then brings back all of the relationships that LinkedIn can do. But that is an additional add-on that I can't put into this demo tenant, but it is now possible to do, which is certainly good for when people are dealing with the sales cycle. Okay, so let's talk about the sales side. Okay, I'm just going to go through the typical CRM buzzwords very, very quickly. Leads are unqualified opportunities. So you might have gone to an exhibition, someone came up, gave you a business card, vaguely interested, you took that business card, they went into your system as a lead. You've no idea if they're going to buy anything from you, so you put them in as a lead. If they progress past a lead, they become an account, contact, and opportunity. So let me just click on here. I have a lead that has been active for 22 hours. Okay, and there is a reason that this is interesting that you think you might be able to position or sell to. Okay, it is in the qualify stage because I've just said it is unqualified. So I've now got to, if I were a salesperson, account manager type person, I'm going to do my work and I'm going to see if I can turn this lead into an opportunity by engaging with them, whatever that process is within your business. You can clearly see there is these targets across the top. These are fully customizable. So this is just out of the box experience here. Of course, I can have all of my appointments, phone calls, emails, everything that's going on in trying to qualify it. Let's just assume that's a process you've done, because I haven't got the time to go through all of this, and I'm going to qualify. I could disqualify, which obviously means I've got some sales stats about how many you're losing compared to winning, but let's just go for the simple approach. Okay, I qualify this, and it allows me to ensure that I don't duplicate, so I can look for things. I'm just going to click continue here. Okay, and instantaneously the system has taken the lead, created the account and created the contact that was in the lead to the account, and heck, deep breath here, and the opportunity to the account. I am now in the opportunity. If you look down the left-hand side, my focus has moved from leads to opportunities. It says that this is now an opportunity. It has gone from qualify into develop. Now, all of these are customizable. So I've got my business process. So am I identifying the need, the solution, who the stakeholders are? I've got one, so I can arguably mark that as complete. Have I got my competitors sorted out? Well, I can actually list those here and add them. Who your sales team is going to be, who the stakeholders are within their business. So I might be adding more contacts now. I might be using LinkedIn to help me find other people that work in the business to be stakeholders. Okay. And then obviously I'm going to start moving this forward. And as you can see, about proposals and reviews and so forth, and marking complete. And these targets then move to the right hand side. Okay, as before, I can't cover everything. This is now getting more exciting from a sales perspective, because I've now got a list of opportunities and my sales pipeline, because I've qualified the lead to an opportunity. So I've now got a potential to earn money. There is no revenue in here, but I can start punching those in by building quotes, okay, and adding those in. Now this gets into a bigger subject about products have to go into the system, and we're getting very clever here, okay, but it just proves to the point it can be done. I might have files relating to said opportunity. So again, similar process as you saw before. And again, at this point, I'm now going to start adding in all the bits and pieces. So I have my accounts, I have my contacts, I have my leads, and I have my opportunities. So if I go back into, let's say, Litware, okay, I've got a recent opportunity for Litware. I'm going to click on that, and I've got a follow-up phone call to make. I can say that I've made that phone call. Okay, I know, just pretend we're here for just that. So that was done, and the phone call today was due at 11:30. Relationship assistant. I can now close that phone call, but it's kind of been done. I also, at this point, if there are any files, or I've uploaded files in here, look, I've got some draft costs. These are in SharePoint, so I can go and open those. And guess what? They're all in a web browser that says all my stuff. I can go and edit it. Other people can see it. It's all pretty slick. Okay, so I can start off from a very nice address book with everything that I can see what's going on, to a whole sales pipeline selling engine. Okay. I haven't even gone through all of the stuff down here, but obviously, as I said, we can build quotes. Quotes become approved. When a quote becomes approved, it becomes an order. When an order is processed, it then becomes an invoice, and it's not a financial planning tool. It's just a token, a flag to say that you've gone through the process. So it has the whole end-to-end business process for probably 99% of every business. But if it doesn't fit your business, then it can be customized to whatever you want it to be. But let's just keep it simple at this point. Okay, so let's now really, because I'm really going to run out of time very quickly here, let's talk about how it expands into the real world. Let's keep it to the simple approach as a really nice, powerful, posh address book. We actually have a buzzword for it. We call it Dynamics Go, where what we tend to do with people that want to have basically a centralized database of all their customers and accounts, we kind of take away all of the very scary, powerful stuff initially. We hide it from people. So I'm going to kind of go the stuff that matters initially. So here am I in my email, and you can see I have a Dynamics 365 add-in into here. Okay, so I've just picked an email. This is a bit ridiculous, really, but I'm going to type Litware in because I know that's one, and I'm going to click on that. Okay, and it has now tracked that email. You will notice a category has gone into my inbox, and you can see here within 15 minutes that email will be visible to everyone in the company inside Dynamics. Okay, so I'll be pushing my luck if it's there, but it is. Okay, there's the email. Okay, and it says you've missed an activity because there's a new email. Okay, and you can click to filter. There you go. That's the stuff I've missed. There we go. There's email. Everyone in the business sees that. I don't need to be forwarding emails and all of that crazy stuff that goes on in businesses. I can do this on my smartphone. I can do it on my iPhone. I can do it on my iPad or my Android phone. Don't care. Yeah, these add-ons all work when you're using Outlook. Okay, so we're expanding that feature. Now, you might remember I also talked about Teams yesterday and Teams the day before. Well, let's take it this way. So I've got Teams and my company's using it and I like it, and I've got a Litware account management team to which I've maybe invited some of the people from Litware into here as guests. So it's my system, I've brought them in. We can communicate with those external customers, but I've got a private channel which has got a little padlock against it, which only our staff can see. The customer wouldn't. And what I've done is I've embedded, and this is a built-in connector, I've built in Litware into Teams. Okay. And there we go. So I'm in Teams and I'm looking at the same page as you just saw in the full web browser with the same information, phone calls to make, things to do, people to see, emails, etc. Okay, so I can get all of the same information. Pretty slick. And by the way, because I added that in, it created a contact for me automatically, because that email that I added in didn't exist in Dynamics as a contact. He just did it. So, you know, crikey, I don't even have to type. Very, very straightforward. So I can have internal conversations with staff inside my business that the customer can't see in this internal only channel, and I've linked in my Dynamics system within it. Okay, so that's pretty good. So we've taken Dynamics and we've made use of all the other features of my Office 365. Hey, I'm paying Microsoft this money, I might as well use it. Hey, get the bang for buck. And the beauty of Dynamics to me, and I'm not a salesperson, as a technical person, we all have smartphones for a reason. We have smartphones because they're a wonderful joining together of lots of useful features in one device. Can I get a better camera? Yeah, of course I can. I go and buy some digital SLR and pay many, many hundreds of pounds, £500–600 on a wonderful camera with interchangeable lenses. But you can't beat the convenience of having everything in one package, and that's what you're looking at here. Okay, anyone in sales would hate me saying this, but maybe there's a better CRM product. I don't know, I'm not the one to judge, but you'll not find one as well integrated as this. So let's take that journey a little further, because there are insights built into here using AI as to how the company is performing. If you're using the features in your sales pipeline, this one here is actually for cases, because you can have service in here, which is if you're dealing with customers' questions, complaints, problems, issues, etc. Okay, so you can have all your KPIs built into here, you know, satisfactions and so forth. That's pretty cool. But we can take it a step further, which is, I want to get to the right one, sorry, is Power BI. And Power BI is an analytical service to then question the data that's been stored in Dynamics and make it visual for managers, middle managers, senior managers. And this is all very dynamic. Okay, so what I can do is actually click on these, and what you'll find is the data is automatically refreshing in real time as I click on things in here. Okay, so everything is pretty much clickable, as you can see, and I get real-time information from the system. All web-based, works on my smartphone, works on my tablet, doesn't make any difference. Okay, other bits to point out, if I just go back, sorry, all the way back, and if we really want to talk about making things clever and smart, okay, there is the facility to use something called Power Automate. Okay, now Power Automate has a name of Flow, okay, in here. Now, to put that into perspective, that is an end user business automation tool. Now, that's a mouthful and a half, but most important point is, it's one of the hardest things is if you want to get the real power out of these systems is automation, because that makes you efficient, cost saving, etc., etc. But how can you do that when years gone, you used to have to pay God knows how much money to get people to do all of this for you, and then 3 months later you needed to change it because you changed your process. Now